won't believe how Qin Shi Huang's court hid an emperor's death, rotten fish, and secrecy. Section 1. The dramatic setup. Imagine the most powerful man in the world riding across the countryside, chasing immortality and a perfect empire, and then dropping dead far from home. That was Qin Shi Huang, China's first emperor. He'd unified warring states into a single empire in 221 BCE, obsessed over elixirs and longevity, and spent his last years on inspection tours. In 210 BCE, he died suddenly on the road. What happened next reads like palace thriller. His death was hidden, orders were forged, and the court scrambled to keep the kingdom together, at least for a little while. Section 2. Why hiding the death seemed necessary. Why the secrecy? In a pre-modern empire, the emperor wasn't just a politician, he was a symbol of order. News of a sudden death could spark rebellion, break loyalties, or trigger competing claims. The first emperor's entourage was dozens of miles from the capital, Xianyang, with a corpse that would quickly begin to decay. Officials who controlled the palace instruments of power, the seals, the bureaucracy, the imperial edicts, realized that whoever controlled the narrative could decide succession. That's where two figures come in: the chancellor, Li Si, and a powerful court eunuch, Zhao Gao. Section 3. The cover-up on the road. Ancient historians, especially Sima Qian in the records of the Grand Historian, tell us what followed. Li Si and Zhao Gao concealed the emperor's death, sealing the body in a carriage and keeping the entourage in the dark while they issued orders in the emperor's name. They used the imperial seal to make decrees as if the emperor were still alive. Some later accounts and popular stories add grisly details. That courtiers tried to mask the smell of the decaying body with herbs, heavy wrappings, even tales of foul-smelling fish. Images that underline how desperate and surreal the journey back to Xianyang must have felt. Whether every colorful detail is literally true, the essential fact is clear from our sources. Officials deliberately manufactured the appearance of imperial continuity while they engineered the succession. Section 4. The plot and its consequences. That manufacture of continuity wasn't harmless. Li Si and Zhao Gao used their control over the seals and edicts to sideline the designated heir, the Crown Prince Fusu, who favored a more moderate approach to rule and was stationed on the frontier. They forged an imperial order that effectively forced Fusu to commit suicide and instead placed the pliable younger son Hu Hai, later known as Qin Shi, on the throne. With the throne occupied by someone manipulable, Li Si and Zhao Gao hoped to keep real power in their hands. It worked, briefly, but it also destroyed legitimacy. In the space of a few years, popular revolts exploded across the empire. The Qin dynasty, brittle and overstretched, collapsed within a decade of the first emperor's death. The secrecy and the manipulations in the palace were major factors in the rapid fall. Section 5. What this episode tells us about power and performance. This story is a vivid lesson in how rulers rule. Power is not just force, it's performance. An emperor's authority rested on rituals, symbols, and the belief that the center had not broken. When officials could imitate those symbols, they could bluff authority for a time, but only for a time. The first emperor's death covering shows both the potency and the fragility of political legitimacy. It also reminds us how much of history is made backstage. Courtiers, seals, and forged edicts can change the course of nations as surely as armies and laws. Section 6. Why I love telling this one. I love this story because it's human and theatrical. A dead emperor on a carriage, anxious mandarins deciding the fate of millions, and a scandal that reads like a soap opera but reshaped Chinese history. It's also a cautionary tale. Secrecy to preserve order can instead hasten collapse. And it connects to today's anxieties about leaders' health, transparency, and how power survives or dies with stories. If this surprised you, share it with someone who loves a good historical twist. They'll thank you. Want more odd, true, and human moments from the past? Tell me which figure or mystery you want explored next. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now to explore more remarkable moments from history, all in just 5 minutes.